What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Animation Revaluation podcast. I am Lizer, and with me today is just James. What's up, James?
Yes, just James here.
We've lost a
And
brother.
a brother in arms.
Brother.
Brother.
As we said last time, Jay's currently on vacation. Since he's not here, let's dox exactly where he is. let's give coordinates.
I was like, longitude. Latitude.
He'll be back week after next, so you guys have one more showing without him. So you only have to deal with us for just one more week after today. So no worries.
I like to think of it more like you get to enjoy us.
Sure, however you want to put it.
Exactly.
But how are you doing today, dude?
Actually great for some reason. Just great. Just I was like in a better mood today at work, and I don't know. It's just because like there was just a little bit more people at work, and like I don't know. It's just like I didn't feel like it was just like a regular day, but I was just saying that I looked happier at work. I'm like, oh really? I was like, it was just the same, I guess. But I don't know.
Nice. Nice. Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
Sometimes you just don't even have a reason for being like a little more chipper, and that's great.
yeah.
It's pretty rare that people are just like happy these days.
I know. It's just usually just like
I want to die.
I know. No, but yeah. But how about you, man? How you been?
I'm good, man. I just kind of cruised by today. Didn't really do much.
Didn't you? Weren't you telling me something that happened recently?
No, I wasn't. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, you don't remember?
No,
You don't remember?
Nope.
No. Okay.
No memory. No memory of this. Oh, Wesker, thank you so much for the tier 2 sub for 4 months, man. Really appreciate it.
Nice.
Why didn't my alerts go off? I've been changing up my alerts. I'm trying to get them to like read out messages to me and stuff, like do text to speech.
Yeah.
It was working before. I don't know why it's not. Oh, I'm using a different overlay for the podcast. That's right.
I would do it.
No, that thing that I was talking to you before, I'm going to make like a little video about that.
Ooh,
So that's why I don't
nice.
want to bring it up now.
Yeah,
He was
no
way happier
spoilers right
today.
now.
Okay. Good to know. No, yeah, I just kind of coasted today. I did nothing but watch the movie that we were supposed to watch today. You know, I saved it for today. I had a day off of work, so I just kind of chilled, watched a bunch of not even anime, just cartoons that like I grew up with. And
Yeah,
I spent the whole day waiting on a package. And they were like, it'll get there between the hours of 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. and it showed up 7 p.m. on the dot. I was like, you motherfucker.
nice. I also started. I think throughout the week I've been watch. Oh, it's just because I've been more pondering how to, because I haven't really finalized like how like how we can kind of like get the watch party going.
Mhm.
And then I've been looking into kind of just because my friend mentioned it, because like I know that was there. It's like VR chat. So like it just because it was free, I decided to give it a shot. And then I realized there's rooms that have like video players on them.
Yeah.
And you can play like YouTube videos. And I'm like, and then, you know, like there's some YouTube videos, like shows, even movies on YouTube.
Mhm.
So I was like, that'd be cool as an idea for the watch party, but it's like a stream in a stream. So like, I don't like, I did like that fact, especially like you're actually in the room, not like watching like in a room, you know, you're like in the room watching like the show,
Yeah,
you
you could
know?
like turn your head and see other people's models and stuff.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like I did like that concept, and then like all I did ended up putting was like um I put Kappa Mikey, and it was very interesting watching like Kappa Mikey, like, and then like watching people like watch it, but like they wouldn't talk or anything.
Yeah.
And then like I remember like when I first went into one, there was like some guy playing like 10 hours of like Pikachu dancing, but it was like the mascot Pikachu's dancing. And then like I put a video of the little girl from Spy Family, Anya,
Anya.
just Anya, sorry, saying like waku waku for like but for like a whole hour. And then the guy proceeded to change it, and like he did like this one YouTube video with Michael Jordan. It's like pretty much saying like he's like, you have a problem.
You need
If
help.
you need
Stop.
help.
Get some help.
Yeah. Yeah, so he did that right after, and then he added me as his friend, and he left.
Yeah, I've been in a couple of those before. They're pretty fun. Yeah.
No, yeah. So like I did have a little fun kind of testing that out and trying it. Is just sometimes it has a little connectivity issue.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
okay, but like I'm just kind of playing around with that. So I'm like I do like that aspect of like not only are we just watching something together, we can actually there's a little bit more interaction, which I do like.
Mm.
And then I haven't looked at all the rooms because it's just so there's a lot of variety in like everything in there. So like I don't know like if there's other rooms because I know there's like a truth or dare room that also has a video, but like I feel like there's other rooms that also have video players. I remember like we went to like a demon slayer like looking like map area, and then there's like demon slayer avatars in it, but like I don't even know how far to an extent and everything, but it was pretty cool.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean that was like the extent of like my week.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
But we also watched something this week.
we did.
Yeah, we watched a little something called Redline, and this was your pick. So, how about you hop into it,
Yeah,
buddy?
thank you. Yeah, when I picked it, I never watched this like at all. Like even then like when I mentioned to you guys, like I said, I never like even like really I didn't even get to finish watching it. I was just like, you know what, like it does seem pretty cool. And then like even when I mentioned to you guys, you never even heard of it.
Nope,
And I
and
was like, oh
it's apparently pretty old. It came out in 2009.
yeah. So I was like, it's old. And I was like, I wonder why it never did so well. And like apparently it was like a big giant flop apparently.
Yeah.
So like I guess like it was like the first time that I'm not sure of the name of the animation studio, but it was like their first attempt.
Madhouse.
Oh, Madhouse.
Yeah, Studio Madhouse.
Yeah, I guess it was like one of their like first attempts to make like a standalone movie, kind of like similar to like Your Name and like all these other great standalone movies,
Mm.
but it just wasn't received very well. And it did at least what I read, it didn't even break the top like 100. I guess in like animated movies, like similar to like 100, the top 100, like in the billboards for like for music and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like it didn't even break that, which is crazy with like the amount of like animation, like in literally like in every scene, like there's never like not something going on in the background.
Yeah.
It's like like everything is so like animated about it.
But it became
Uh,
a cult classic after the release. Like after it was considered a flop and everything, people started looking into it, and it gained popularity after all of that.
yeah, I mean, like kind of like similar with like with I would because it kind of gave me like a lot of like Mad Max kind of
Mm.
like vibes, but like I never watched the first one, but even like the first one, it was like so like low budgeted, but like it was just that one was kind of received like at least better in comparison.
Mm.
But like even then, like that caused it like a cult following, but kind of like it had an opposite effect where it actually like caused it to make even more movies, and like it was just a big difference. But like in general, like the general theme that I noticed is kind of like a Mad Max and oh, at least like what I said, like a kind of like a Mad Max and like Speed Racer kind of thing
Yeah, but in space.
in space. Yeah. But the way it starts off is it starts off on this planet called Dorothy, and then you meet this guy named Sweet JP. And like I said, it was like very like a Mad Max esque race like that he's in. But I think the race that it starts off with is called the Yellow Line, which is pretty much like the galaxy's famous elimination race, which is like the second most popular race, of course, like second to the Red Line. And this is like where you meet also JP's aliens like mobster mechanic named Frisbee. And he's pretty much like watching this race and it's being televised, and he's watching it with this mafia boss. I forgot his name, but I just noticed that he was just like the entire time that he was talking with Frisbee, he's like massaging his gums with cocaine.
Yeah. I don't think they
Like,
actually give him a name. He's just the Anuki mob boss.
okay, yeah, to me that just stood out. I was like, is that a thing? I was like,
Yeah, it is.
that's crazy. And I was like, I thought it was just like it. I because I mean I don't like know much. I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I'll
Uh,
fill you in later.
yeah, and then anyways, I know that one mafia boss was like just concerned just because he had like a lot of ride on the like just because I think they had like had a little, at least the way Frisbee and that mafia boss was like hooked up. It's just kind of like they have a lot of like fixed racings.
Yeah,
So just the way that they do it is just more like when it seems like Frisbee's gonna win, like they kind of like make the bids like in his favor, so he makes a lot of money off it, and that way like it's kind of like a what would you call it? Like kind of like an exchange. So it's like you get money, like they both get paid.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fixing. They had it so that JP would be pretty far in the back of the roster of racers, pretty much the whole race, and then at the end pull forward to like second or third place.
Yeah.
He wasn't
But
supposed to
like
win though.
yeah, but he still tried to win, but that's why like I think Frisbee kind of fixed the car with a car, not
With
not
a
with a car,
fucking bomb.
with a fucking bomb. Yeah, so like right when he was in the lead, like he made it like explode.
Yeah.
So and then I guess like because of that he ended up losing, and because I think he was like neck and neck with another racer, and then she ended up winning, and then her name is was it Sanoshee? I bet a lot of people called her like the cherry boy hunter.
Yeah.
Which I was just like, I was like, yeah, she's very good, but I'm like, I don't know about cherry boy hunter, but I
I think she
think
likes twinks.
oh maybe. I, I'm
Yes.
sure. Uh, I'm sure any boys would definitely meet their match with her. Um,
She's the best character this show in this movie.
I think so. But because of the explosion, like he still was like pretty, like he didn't die anything because of the car exploding. Like surprisingly or not, he was like pretty much okay. So like even like after the race, like he's just kind of just chilling. I don't know if he broke anything or whatever, but he was just kind of just like recuperating in the hospital. And then pretty much like Frisbee tells him because of the bet, he's off the hook from his bondsman, I guess.
Yeah, he made enough money to like pay it off.
Yeah, and then I know JP just like initially just turns it down because he doesn't like he's not really in it for the money. But then like I guess a couple like report like well not a couple but a bunch of
Yeah, they
reporters.
stormed the room.
Yeah, and then they just like they learned that they like was it two racers like just decided to quit. So he ended up qualifying for Redline.
Wait, hold on. I'm back. I'm Yeet or whatever my name was. Dude, really? If that's really you, Yeet, yo, long time no see. I'm glad you finally got to change your Twitch account. I haven't seen you since I played Dying Light 2. Good to see you, dude. Continue, James.
Damn, it's been a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was watching your Dying Light
Yeah.
2 stream.
Yeet was my first like real viewer, like outside of friends and stuff.
Yeah,
That's cool to
that's
see.
cool.
Yeah.
That is cool to see. Anyways, where was I? Oh yes. Yeah. So two people ended up leaving like they didn't want to go and do the red line, and that's all because they found out the location of the race, which was gonna be at this place called Robo World, which is pretty much a planet. I guess it's just run by this kind of like military cyborg president who pretty much threatened on TV. Any racer or anybody that goes on this race at their planet will just pretty much like be taken out by their what is this like it was like this weird name. It was like this orbital disintegration cannon or it's just like whatever. It's just like they'll just pretty much get killed if they are in the race at the world.
Mm.
And that's only because he's doing all this because he's just doesn't want to be like his planet to be exposed to like all the secret weapons that he has.
Secret illegal weapons.
Yes, secret illegal weapons that he's planning on using against like the treaties that he has against like for war against whatever.
Yeah, because they say a couple times that like they had refugees, that they gave them like an entire mini planet. He's like, oh, we should have never did that. We should have just killed them. Blah, blah, blah. Like he's just fucking evil. He has no redeeming qualities at all.
Pretty much. I mean, like they're cyborgs, so like they don't really have like that kind of like human like traits.
Yeah.
So it's just pretty much like that. And then I know this entire time the racers are just chilling before the red line, and they're just getting a bunch of like media coverage. And then like during this media coverage, because I don't think JP really gets much coverage, because I usually the entire time it's just this car's being like fixed up because it got totaled from the explosion.
Oh yeah.
So pretty much Frisbee and this other mechanic, I think they just named him Old Man Mole.
Yeah, Old Man Mole.
Yeah, because that's just his name. And
he's like a four-armed mole man.
I don't even think he didn't even look like a mole. He just looked like this big, like long, gangly thing.
It looks more like a spider creature, honestly.
Yeah, pretty much. I never like got a mole, but I'm like, oh, I mean, that's his name, so.
I mean, I guess.
And then I know he wanted to put like a weapon on it because like it's like a no holds barred race, so like weapons and anything on the cars is free. But JP doesn't really he doesn't believe in that kind of thing.
Yeah, JP is like, no, it's a race. Why would I need a gun? And literally everyone else is like blowing up other people's cars and shit. They have bombs and rockets.
Yeah, you name it. Like they're like, do use whatever thing that they use to win. But he's like, no, I'm just gonna race. And then pretty much from there, the race starts because they managed to get onto the planet, because they managed to, I guess, sabotage the cannon from going off. So like during that like mix up for it not firing, they're able to like start the race, and they pretty much start the race kind of like a free fall from like the sky from like a mothership that like they use to like get the cars onto the planet. And like from there just pretty much it gets pretty crazy. And then like during the race, like they're trying to like destroy and shoot down the racers, but because all this is happening, like they get to a certain part of the race where there's like, I guess like this secret area where there's like a biological weapon that they just named like Funky Boy.
I was like, what is that, dude?
Yeah, I like the name. I was like, it's like, oh, his name's Funky Boy. I'm like, okay. And like pretty much Funky Boy awakens like because of like all the commotion or whatever. And then there's like this big giant like kaiju battle because like they try to kill Funky Boy, but it ends up failing. And then they like make like this one general into like this giant like kaiju looking thing.
He looked like Chaos from Sonic Adventure.
A little bit, yeah, actually. And they're fighting, and then all in this meantime, like the racers are just trying to finish like the red line.
Yeah, they all just drive past it.
Yeah,
it's like whatever.
And then it's pretty much it like ends up being like a neck and neck race. because of what's going on in the battle, like Sanoshi's car gets like totaled, and like she she and
JP.
JP, sorry, like end up like sharing a car because like they just want to win, so like they just like, you know what, like let's just win together. And then I think she had like this like little booster kind of necklace
Yeah,
thing.
she
I
had
forgot what
the
it's called.
platinum nitrous cap. So
Yeah, so
they
like,
have like in JP's car he has kind of like this liquid nitrogen fuel tank thing, and he would
yeah,
pop gold nitrous caps, and it's just like imagine putting like a fucking Alka-Seltzer in water. It's like that. So
like a Pepto, or no, not Pepto, a Mentos in like a Coke.
yeah, like that. So gold is like pretty strong, and platinum is like more than what 99.999% of people can handle. So he saw that she originally had the platinum one. She gave it to him, and he was like, "Oh, we can use this to win." But no one thought he would be able to control it, and he kind of proved them wrong.
Yeah, and not only did he control it, like when they were neck and neck, it did seem like they were gonna lose to Machine Head, but I guess Frisbee, even like
Here's Machine Head.
that, he tried to like he put a bomb, like he did in the first race, on the car, but the bomb ends up being used to propel them forward, and then like when they win, they're not even in their car.
Yeah, the
They
car just
like,
disintegrated.
and like they win by like this, like just like the little hair of his giant pomodoro.
Yeah.
And then it ends there.
It literally just ends.
Yeah.
That was so jarring to me. It just ends. There's no like
Yeah.
you don't find out what happens after, because he didn't use the money to pay his bail. He used the money to fix up the car for the next race. We don't know like if the mafia is gonna retaliate against Frisbee and Mole Guy. We don't know what happens with him and Sanoshee. It literally just ends like it's a black screen. It's like, I love you too.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
It's like, what just happened? What did I watch? James, what did you make me watch?
I don't know. It's just like it seemed pretty cool, and then like it just ended out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was so jarring because there was so much happening. It's like you feel like they could have taken some of that effort that they did like with all these background characters, and like stupid shit like having two girls like bounce their titties on screen, and give it an actual ending.
If you notice, they actually put more like stuff in the background with background characters more than like maybe people realized. If you remember, like one of the racers, one of them was like this kind of like cop racer, if you kind of remember. He said like he didn't like wasn't any romantic at all with like one of the, like I guess like with another racer or another person or whatever, another cop, that they say like they're not in a relationship or whatever. But if you notice, like right before the race, like when it gets like everybody's like getting like more serious in the race, if you notice him in his car, he actually like has a picture of the girl that they were talking about, and he kisses it right before like going like more like harder in the race.
Oh wow, I actually didn't know that. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that like you'll pick up on like second and third watch throughs.
No, yeah, I think that's like the crazy part. Like, if you actually, like as a dramatic whole, like it was like a little bit of a letdown, just to be honest. But like when it came to like animated and like things in the background, like a lot of like even like characters that didn't really like put much or any attention to, like it felt like a living world. Like you were kind of watching these like things that were like happening in the same time, that they weren't just like they would like have like background characters, and it just kind of felt a little bit more like not as important. It seemed like every background character had its job, and it was like important to whatever it was doing.
Yeah, they all had a specific personality, and you could definitely tell them apart. I may not remember everyone's name, but
Yeah,
you knew who everyone was.
Even the background of the background characters, like even those seemed like they had some kind of personality to it.
Yeah, I hated the kid in the beginning. It's like, Dad, take the picture, Dad. You just get the lens off, Dad.
Yeah.
You it's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I remember that. I was like, bro. And I was just like, is it just in dub, or is this like? I wonder if it would sound less annoying in sub or whatever. But yeah.
One
But
thing I'm
yeah,
interested in is I watched it on Amazon Prime Video, and they had a free version and a paid version. The free version was like PG-13. The paid version was 18 and up. What is on the paid version? Is it like after they say I love you, it just goes into like a porn scene or something at the end?
that I didn't actually check, but because this video is also on YouTube with ads as well. So like I think I saw it. I started it on YouTube and then I ended up finishing it on Amazon. But I mean, I don't really know actually, but yeah. Forgot what I was going with.
It's just very detailed. Maybe not in the way that it should be.
Yeah. It was like I do love and appreciate like I almost feel bad like the animators animated everything, every little detail, like it's because there was never a dull moment.
Yeah.
Like
you know what's the craziest part about it though?
What?
It's hand drawn.
Yeah. I didn't know that, and that it makes it even more insane.
Yeah. So every single one of these like very intricate details was all hand drawn, and that's crazy to me, because you would expect stuff like that to come from like CG.
Yeah. So like the fact like there was like literally it would be hard to find a single scene that wasn't like hand drawn.
Yeah.
And the fact like this was like wasn't like it was poorly received like makes me like feel bad. But
I mean that happens a lot, especially with animated movies.
Yeah.
Like look at even here in America with like Cats Don't Dance and Iron Giant. Those are considered to be two huge cult films, but they did horribly in the box office. And it's usually because of like poor marketing or just general disinterest at the time. Like maybe it came out a little bit before or a little after a fad happens that people would get interested in something like this.
Yeah.
So like it'll do very well after, but it's already past the point because people only ever look at the box office numbers. So they're like, oh, we're not going to give it a sequel. We're not going to continue because it did horrible at the box office. Meanwhile, it'll do gangbusters on like Blu-ray DVDs, but they don't care.
But I mean, I feel like partial of the sales is in the Blu-ray.
Yeah, oh, definitely. But everyone always focuses on
box office.
Yeah, box office stuff. I mean, imagine like some of the biggest movies right now are like the Avengers movies, right? Marvel movies.
I just recently rewatched No Way Home.
Yeah, so imagine like the last Spider-Man movie, right?
Yeah.
Like nobody decided to go watch it in theaters because maybe like new COVID variant came out, so everyone was scared, but they were still releasing movies in theaters. So it made no money. That right there, they would have axed it. They would have, that's it. I guess Spider-Man's not part of the MCU anymore. Even though everyone probably would have been streaming it and all that stuff, they don't care. It's such a dumb thing. It's like a relic of olden times when we didn't have, at-home video stuff. I mean, and we've had at-home videos for like over 30 years at this point.
Oh, yeah.
But they still only look at box office numbers, and it sucks.
It's not like back in the days, like when like things just went straight to VHS.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes it went to straight to VHS for a reason.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just like like it just wasn't there, and it just goes straight to movies.
Yeah.
And, like,
I mean, look at like a big part of straight to like VHS stuff was like Disney. Like I hated Aladdin, the original Aladdin. I hate that movie. I think it's a fucking boring movie. I like
the one with Robin Williams.
Yeah, the one with Robin Williams, the old Disney one.
Oh,
the animated one.
I like that one actually.
I don't like it. I like Robin as the genie. I just don't like the movie.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the things that I liked, it was because of.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I was just like it's because I seeing it from a whole. I don't think it's bad because at least like.
No, yeah, I just think it's like boring, really. But I like some of the straight to VHS sequels that I got. And then like Lion King, that was like one of my favorite movies when I was a kid. I really, really like Lion King 2. better than the first one, and that one was straight to VHS also.
Yeah. I just I watched. I actually liked Lion King 1.5 because
The Timon and
it
Pumbaa one.
yeah, because it filled in blanks.
Yeah,
That the first one did,
I don't
which
think it's
I liked.
considered canon though.
No, it's not canon. But I kind of like it when like there's a little bit more detail of what like happened, like at least to an extent to what happened in like the classic like Lion King. I
Yeah.
did like and appreciate that.
Oh,
But
definitely. Yeah.
even but even then, like I was more of a Tarzan kid myself.
That's another movie I don't like.
Well, that's only because like the connection I had with my mom and like with like the animals
Yeah.
and all like everything. So like to me that connected to me more. But I mean,
That's another
I mean
one
that's
that
just
I
me.
don't think it's bad. I just find it boring.
No, yeah.
Like I like the show Tarzan and Jane. I like Tarzan
Oh
too.
no, the show is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting a little off track.
Yeah, just a little. It's fine.
Yeah,
It's a podcast,
yeah. No, yeah.
you know.
But overall, what'd you think? What'd you think of the movie? Like, what would you rate it?
So I went into it as what's the word I'm looking for? Like I didn't want to have any bias because I don't like racing and I don't
Yeah.
like mech stuff, and this had both of that. And I was like, okay.
Even then, like, I never got that. Like, I've seen like a little bit of mechs anime. It's like it just felt like it was like more like what would you call it? Kind of like future, like cyberpunk, I
Mhm.
guess. Like I don't think it's more mech. It's more like cyberpunk
Well,
in a
this
sense.
literally had them getting into mechs. Like the cops were getting into mechs to fight the racers.
Oh yeah, actually, now that you think, it's just like when they're at Robo World, when the robots like start to like engage to like
Yeah. Some of them get into
yeah.
cars, some of them get into mechs.
No, okay, now I know what you
Um
mean. Yeah.
so I knew that was a thing, and I was like, "Oh, well, you know, I don't want to be biased against that. Let me just look at the movie as a whole." So, as far as plot goes, there's not really much there. It's just
No.
I
Yeah.
want to win the race, and there's a
Yeah.
they you know, they add a little bit where Sanoshee apparently met JP when they were younger, but she doesn't remember. He does though. And she's kind of like one of the driving forces for him wanting to be a racer.
That's like one of his biggest reasons why he's racing.
Yeah, it's like one of
Because of that.
two, basically, because it was her, and then there
Yeah.
was a guy that drove like the car before him.
Yeah.
Um, but she has like no memory. I don't even think he mentioned it to her in the movie.
That's another thing that like made me so mad. Was like he never brought it up.
Yeah,
Like the fact that they never met, like they met when they're little, and then like this whole thing and backstory that they created for like between them, like it never was like reiterated or anything.
yeah, and like it kind of screws with the ending too, because not only does it just end, just fades to black, and they're like, "Oh, I love you." At least he has a reason for saying that, because you know that he has this history with her. She knows nothing. For a big part of the movie, she hated him because she has no interest in relationships. Then she started to like him. Then she found out that he was like a cheat and hated him again, and then slowly started to trust him again. It's over the course of like 3 days, and then she's just like, "Yeah, I love you too." Like, huh? What do you mean?
Yeah.
It just
I did
felt
get that.
like so undeserved,
Yeah.
and they just had so much going on that I was like, you could have used the time that you used talking about like the two guys digging a tunnel or something to like elaborate more on them. So I felt like there was some missteps in the direction. A lot of it just felt too hectic. But all in all, like ignoring my biases, it was still enjoyable. It was pretty funny. It may be a little too long for my taste. I think it's what, almost 2 hours.
Something like that. It's as a general, like as the plot goes, it felt like it was really short.
For the
Like,
second half, felt short to me. The first half, before they start the red line, I was like, "Oh, this is dragging." Like
yeah,
him
'cause
exploring the Robo World thing, you know, like buying
yeah,
cigarettes. I was like, "Why do I have to see all of this?"
that's true. Yeah, it was like it did like I think I didn't even like cover that part just
Yeah.
because like it did feel like a little bit where like he goes to Robo World, he meets like with Sanoshee again after the race.
Yeah, the whole
And kind of
restaurant
like
scene.
yeah, so like I didn't cover that just because like it didn't seem relevant to like the whole story, like as a whole. Only that he meets with like a racer that he ends up like racing at the end.
Yeah,
But like,
and that's the big point right there, is that it's not relevant.
yeah,
Like, we have so many parts that aren't relevant, and then it just ends, and you're like, they could have taken the irrelevant parts out and gave it a proper ending. That's my biggest gripe with it. So
yeah,
like,
like
mm,
they brought all these things and they could have tied it in, make everything more relevant. But like they ended up being like ending the way it is and not ever like putting the dots together. So
yeah. So
yeah,
as far as like the second half, I did really enjoy it. Like after the red line starts and all everything gets set into motion,
yeah,
that's when I started enjoying it more. It felt like it sped up a little bit. Um,
yeah,
as we said before, animation in this movie is fucking incredible. Hand drawn, which blows my mind given the quality of it and how much detail is in everything, especially in the backgrounds. So all in all, I'd say I'd probably give it a 6.5.
Wow. Okay. Actually, pretty similar. Actually, I was gonna like for me, my rating was like it was like as a general as a whole, I was gonna rate it like a 6.
Mm.
So I think we're pretty kind of like that's pretty very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's definitely not bad. Like I have my biases for certain things. I'm not a racing fan. I'm not a mech fan. There's a little too much going on for me at certain moments, and I disagree with some of the steps that they chose. But it's not a bad movie.
No, yeah.
Yeah,
But that's another thing. It's like this is more like not really a movie to kind of really get much invested in it. It's just more a thing to kind of get into, kind of to watch for fun.
yeah,
It's just like if you're not just kind of just watching it just like as like face value, it's a I would say it's still a good movie to watch.
I think if this was given the treatment of a series instead of being a movie, just like maybe a mini series where they have more time to space everything out and focus on things more, it would
Yeah.
benefit from that a lot more.
I would definitely would appreciate if they did like do something like that and like fill in like the connections that the movie didn't. I
For
think
sure.
I definitely there is a lot of space. Like they made this whole like world like thing about it, so like there definitely is like a lot of room for it to do that.
Yeah. So you gave it a 6. I gave it a 6.5.
Yeah.
How about you, Jay? Uh huh. Okay. Nice. All right. You agree with him?
Yeah. I don't know if it was in the chat, so I was
No.
just like,
No.
okay.
Liza's schizophrenia is acting up.
Yeah, you were
uh,
definitely
anything else
giving up.
you wanna add before I start talking about what we'll be watching for next week?
No, yeah, go ahead.
All right. So recently, we've had kind of a good thing happen with DC. You know, the company as a whole. They've had the release of the Robert Pattinson Batman movie, which a lot of people were on the fence about before it came out, because you know he was in Twilight, and they were like, I don't know about this. But then a lot of people really liked his take on the Bruce Wayne Batman character. And then they had, you know, the new owners of Warner Brothers. So a lot of like the issues they had with their live action movies, like with the producers and stuff, all those people got fired. New people that are more trustworthy are coming in. So it looks like they're having a bright future ahead of them right now. It's, you know, we'll see. They still have some troubles, especially with the the Flash.
Sure.
But things are looking more on the brighter side for them. So being that I just recently watched the Batman, you just recently watched it, and Jay recently watched it, I figured, how about we see a movie that is probably never going to get a live action adaptation because nobody fucking sticks as the Batman for long enough to get to this point, and that would be Batman Under the Red Hood.
Wow.
This is my favorite animated Batman movie. Have you ever heard of it or seen it?
I have seen it, and I did like it.
All right. So I'm excited to see it again.
For some reason, I thought you were because there's one of the I think it was a recent one that came out with like with Batman and Superman, and pretty much instead of I forget which one it is, but it was like the one where Joker, instead of like trying to like mess with like Batman, he messes with Superman.
Oh, that's the
And pretty
Injustice movie.
yeah,
Yeah, it was
so like
trash.
I'm more familiar with like that story, and I've seen it like done like better. But I never watched it, but I was more familiar with. I do like the comic version of it
Yeah,
better.
it was done better in the comic and the games.
Yeah,
Movies just kind of mid. Not gonna lie.
yeah. I think the last because I started getting into like the Batman movies when I would go to like WonderCon or like LA Comic Con.
Yeah.
Like they would always show it each time I would go, like, and they would like the never like it would like they would show it before it's even out. So I always get excited like every time I would go every year. It was like this was like pre-pandemic, and like I don't know, like when they were like a little bit like when they had more budget for that kind of stuff. Like I would always watch it. So I'm like I think I watched the Under the Red Hood there. I watched the was it the one with like the owls?
Ah, the Court of Owls one. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I saw that one there like before like and like we like with everybody that went there. Like I saw it for the first time there. Um like in a bunch I think like the Teen Titans like animated movie too. But it was all good. Like um you can't go wrong with Batman.
I mean.
I mean, like, I don't know, just like I personally never, like, I don't really like really have a preference between Marvel and like I feel like Marvel does the movies pretty well,
Marvel does
and
live action better. DC does animated movies better, for sure.
yeah. So like I feel like as far as DC goes, like there is a lot of growth in that. They just have to kind of like nail it down what Marvel did. And then Marvel needs to get down what DC's got and
Yeah.
just kind of figure that out.
Yeah, maybe somebody needs to just buy both companies and just get them to work together.
Yeah, just be like a bus and Elon, just like just buy Twitter.
Elon, please. Elon,
Exactly.
Elon, please.
Please, Elon.
Do it for me, please, Elon. But yeah, tune in next week. We'll talk about Batman Under the Red Hood. I'm also gonna include I think it's called Batman Death in the Family, which is kind of like a pseudo sequel to this movie. I'll talk more about it next week. You don't have to check it out because it's just a retelling of this movie, but with like a choose your own adventure aspect to it. So stay tuned for that. And until then, we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye, guys.